Hey everyone. No webcam. Firstly, I'm just going to say I can't be asked. I can't be asked setting up the green screen at the moment. I can't be asked with the lights. I can't be asked with anything at the moment. So no webcam. Plus, I've never played this game before, and I wanted to see what it was like before I decided to put my face on it. But anyway, so just that, yep. For God's sake, Remus, how about you let me play the game first before you start telling me I can install mods and all this and whatnot. Oh my God. Anyway, hello Mick, hello Remus. I'm on PC and I can install mods. No shit, Sherlock. I needed you to tell me that, Captain Obvious. Remus, Mr. Know-It-All himself.
I thought you were going mad just sitting there talking to yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to do something different today. I've never played the game. And people have recommended this in the past to me, so I thought I'd have a look at it. In career mode, you have to manage all aspects of your space program. Funds, reputation, science are all active. Contracts are available at mission control. Difficulty normal. I heard that normal is actually really easy, but I don't know. But maybe I'll just play normal since I've never played it before. What flag? I heard it's very hard to get into orbit. Can't you make your own flag? I wonder if you probably can. It's PC, so there's probably some option out there to make your own flag. We'll just do that one. Let's start. Year 1, day 1. 0 hours, 0 minutes. Let me just check the overlay. Does it cover up stuff? It does. So shall we turn off things for this game so we can see everything? Yep, there we go. Turn that all off. I might as well put the audio on. Could be a bit of an idea that we get some game audio going. Don't you agree? Right. So, nice to meet you. I am Gene Kerman. Hey, Tricky. I'm doing alright. People recommended this game, said I should give it a go, so here I am giving it a go. So I'm just jumping in the deep end. Okay, can you rotate? Oh yeah, you hold the right mouse button to rotate, okay. And left button to middle button, and I assume that's to zoom in. Yeah. Okay, this is the Space Center. From here you can manage all aspects of the space program. Feel free to have a look around. Hold the right mouse button to move the camera or use the arrow keys. Right click over the Space Center facilities if more about them, and left click when you're ready to head inside. If you needed more information, check out the training section on the main menu. Okay. So, we have a space plane hangar. The space plane hangar allows construction of spacecraft designed to be launched from the runway. Mission control. At the mission control facility, all available contracts can be managed. It also offers a very nice view of the launch site for any who are brave enough to be so close to a launching craft. Vehicle Assembly Building. The VAB is where spacecraft are designed and built before being moved over to the launch pad for flight. Launch pad. The launch pad is where vessels built at the VAB are launched. We are reasonably confident that it is a safe enough distance from everything else. Doesn't look that far. Runway. At the runway, spacecraft built in the spaceplane hangar have a long flat surface to reach takeoff speed. Conceivably, such aircraft could even land back on it. Tracking station. At the tracking station, all ongoing missions can be viewed and focused. Landed craft can be recovered from here as well. I'm playing it on PC, yeah, tricky. Hey Mikiro, stranger, how you doing? At the research and development facility, our team of scientists work hard to crush the data received from mission experiments. Here all research technologies can be viewed and new ones discovered. Administration building. The administration building may not seem like a very exciting place at first, but here is where all our strategic decisions are made. And finally, I think, astronaut complex. The astronaut complex contains the living and recreation spaces for all our crew members. New applications also apply here to be recruited. What we have over here, all the things that I've just gone through. Okay. What's this? Mortimer Kerman finances. He's an accountant called Mortimer. He doesn't have many friends, but he likes things to be under control and arranged in right angles. This job is pretty stressful for him. Linus is Werner von Kerman's intern because Werner himself is too important to be bothered with these boring strategy meetings. He sends his intern in his stead. Walt Kerman, public relations. Why's he got a hazmat suit on if he's public relations? Walt Kerman is a spokesman for the space program. He wears a hazmat suit, which isn't which isn't strictly required for his job, but it seems appropriate for someone working in such a toxic environment. Gus Kerman is head of space program operation and an all-round repairs guy. Whenever something around here breaks down, and he's the reason why all our pods have windows. I don't even know what you're supposed to do here. What you're supposed to do. So we'll just look at each facility then. Astronaut complex. What? Stupidity? Wait. So, because it's stupidity, does it mean the lower the better? The less stupid they are? Maybe I should have done some training exercises. Flag? I didn't know there was a flagpole. That's my flag. Oh. Launch pad. No save vessels found. Okay. Mission control. Welcome to mission control. Please make a selection. Active contract 0 of 2. Gather scientific data from Kerbal. Launch our first vessel. Escape the atmosphere. Orbit Kerbal. At Kerbal, World First Record Keeping Society. We need brave Kerbals with the right stuff to help achieve our dreams. We still have unchecked items on our list of records to break and would like to change that, but really there's no sense in us all talking while there's science to be done. Shall we get to it? Give us a quick crew report before launch. It's fine if any of the lights on the control panel are flashing, just give it a swift kick. Any science? Recover or transmit. Aim science. Okay. What's next? Research and development. Available parts. A basic fin. A Mark 1 command pod. Maybe I should have done the training missions. Basic rocketry. Cannot afford technology cost. Cannot afford technology cost. Okay, whatever that is. Runway. No save vessels. Spaceplane hangar. Hello, I am Werner von Kerbal, Chief Rocketry Engineer. This is the spaceplane hangar. Here is where we build spacecraft that later will take off from the runway. On your left you'll find components to construct your own spaceplane. They're not for space planes. You can have them look around with right mouse or arrow key, but if you need more guidance on how to build spacecrafts, have a look at the training section on the main menu. Maybe I should have gone to that first. That's a solid... These aren't... I guess I can't build a space plane. Tracking station. What's this? Welcome to the tracking station. The Mun. This is the tracking station facility. Short. Oh my god, it's a zoo in my house and they're all going off. Hugo. Shush. Oh my god. Boomerang launch site.
What are you shouting about? Why shouting?
This is the tracking station, and here you can view all the solar systems.
What have you heard?
All of the solar... Hugo! Shut him up, please. And then the vehicle assembly building. Sue, please. Wow, they don't really go out of your way to help you. in the game, do they?
No.
Hey JP. Haven't seen you for a while. Hugo.
Right. Stop.
I'm gonna have to get up in a second, come over there and sort you out. Not you. Alright. I think I'm gonna do some of the training missions. We'll save. We'll just save. We'll go to the main menu. And we'll do the training section because that looked really confusing. Getting started in basic construction. Alright. Let's have a look. Yeah, that'd be about right, JP. Oh, his space station. God, now the bird has decided to make an appearance somewhere. Right. Welcome to today's lecture on vessel construction. I'm Werner von Kerman. Whether you want to put a satellite into orbit, make a transcontinental flight, or step onto the very surface of the Mun, you're going to need to build yourself a ship. It should be pretty easy, even if you're not a famous rocket scientist like myself. It's so easy, we're all doing it. I launched my first spaceship into space last night. In this tutorial, I will first show you around the Kerbal Space Center, then take you to the vehicle assembly building where you'll learn how to construct a simple ship. We'll cover adding and removing parts, what the parts do, how to change the performance settings of all the parts, which have an option, and how to control staging. At the end of the tutorial, you'll have a craft fit for a quick hop from the launch pad. At each step, I will lock out all controls other than the ones you need for the step. If you still manage to mess up, it took even me some time to become as skilled as I am now. You can press the back button to go back and fix things. The KSC is for sure is home to the pinnacle of Kerbal endeavour and achievements for space exploration. Use the facilities you can see here. You will be able to manage your space program, create rockets and planes, track your Kerbal explorers as they roam the solar system, find exciting... How long have I been streaming now? 20 minutes and I haven't done anything yet. Find out about each of the facilities. Come on. I'm the world's greatest gamer. I'm not going to do that. I'm the best at everything I do. If you need to repair a structure or upgrade them in crew, you can do this by right-clicking them. Take some time to hover the mouse over the buildings and see what each, and when you are ready, enter the vehicle assembly building. Okay, well, we've done that already, so we'll just enter the vehicle assembly building. Very good. What you see in the middle of this screen is the construction area. This is where parts are placed and your craft is constructed. On the left side of the screen is the parts toolbox. It will show all the parts you have available in each of the different categories. Once there are any to pick from, that is okay. If you want your craft to be controllable, you'll need a command module, and it's best to make it the first part you place. This part best steps. Maybe. Not. As we're just starting, there is only one choice. Go ahead and pick the command module from the pods tab. Mark 1 command pod. Cost 600. Why would you pick that first? It's floating in the air. After at least one part is placed, you can look around with the following controls. Arrow keys or right mouse drag. Ooh. It's an intelligent command module because okay. If you'd like your pilot to be able to make more than one flight, he or she will have to return safely to the ground or water. On Kerbal, parachutes are a simple little make sure that happens. They can be found on the utility tab. Yeah, looks like it. When you are choosing parts, you can view the details of the available parts by hovering over them in the toolbox. When the info is visible, most parts have an additional information window which can be opened. Why am I reading this? Go ahead and select the Mark 16 by left-clicking on it. What tab? The utility tab. Utility, 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 utility. There we go, it goes on right there, I suppose. Next. Some parts, like our parachutes here, have configurable options. To see these, we need to right click on the parachute we just attached to the pod. Do that now and you'll see the available parameters. Altitude 1000, minimum pressure 0.04. On the parachute you'll see that we can adjust our altitude and the atmospheric pressure at which to open. That setting can be quite useful on distant worlds. For now, let's check that the opening height on the chute is at least 1000 meters. It is, because safety is the Kerbal way after all. To 02. Okay. Now let's. This setting prevents the chute from activating until the atmospheric pressure is above the configured value. On Kerbal, 0.2 is about 9 kilometers in altitude. So even if you stage early and arm the parachute, it will wait until then to activate. You can hide these options by right-clicking on the background scene or picking up another part. Okay. Morning, Mike. Next up, you're going to need something to make us go. Click on the Engines tab on the left to show the available engines and solid rocket motors. Grab one, I only have one, and connect it to the bottom of the pod. Good boy. Oops, I forgot, you're just starting out. You're not a famous rocket scientist. Yes, I am. And to make that craft survivable as it stands now, you'd have to be better at rocket science than me. The problem with that craft is that this solid rocket is too powerful for the payload, a single small pod and chute. You'll either burn up on ascent from going too fast or burn up coming back down. Even if you survive that, the craft's mass will cause it to fall too fast for the parachute to operate properly, and you'd hit the surface before it could stop you. Okay, I promise to teach you how to change that to make it work in a later tutorial, but for now, let's continue. Oh my god. Well, at least this way I get to tell you about removing parts. Pick up the BACC thumper and either drop it back over the parts toolbox or press delete. What was the BACC thumper? Instead, let's add the solid motor that's a better match for the ship. The RTO. Solid fuel booster. At the start of your career, you will have what I consider rubbish parts. Literally, the motor here looks like, and may well be, a converted trash can. That said, it does have enough oomph to get this little craft moving skyward and quickly. As you progress, you'll be able to unlock more engine and other parts. For now though, let's pick up the RT5 flute and connect it to the bottom of the pod. Nice one, you have built the simplest survivable craft possible. We could go launch this right now, but it might be safer to explain the other thing first. Whee! In the bottom right you'll see the staging stack. It's the box with the number 0 and icons for the parachute and engine in it. This stack shows us which parts will be activated as we stage our rockets. What this shows is that when we activate the next stage, both the engine and the parachute will be triggered. While it could be considered funny to open the chute and fire the motor at the same time, it's not going to give you much of a flight. To fix this, we need to separate the engine and chute into two stages. If you mouse over the 0 stage, yes, you will see a little plus and minus appear to the left of the box. Click the plus button to add a new stage. No, that's minus. Plus. If you add too many, click the minus button on the extra ones. To remove them, make sure you have precisely 2 stages. Yes. Excellent. It's important to note that the stages activate from the highest number and then count down. So your first stage will be stage 1. So I assume then I would have to move that into there. Right. And our second stage will be stage 0, the chute. Now drag the engine icon. Yeah, done that. Come on. That's it. We now have a safe, well, relatively safe craft that's ready to go. Let's make sure that if we need this design again, we don't have to build it all from scratch. At the top of the screen, you will see the name of our craft. Yep. Untitled spacecraft doesn't seem so majestic. Why don't you change that to be something more your style? And you can add a description if you'd like to. Well, I was going to call it JP's Trash Can. There we go. JP's trash can, like its namesake, most likely to point out my failings in life. I think that's pretty... What are you eating? Hey? Where's my food?
I asked you if you wanted food and you blanked me.
I had headphones on.
You heard me.
No, I didn't.
I didn't think you could have breadcrumbs.
I don't want breadcrumbs. I put headphones on. I don't hear her, so she doesn't make me any food.
I asked you if you wanted it.
I had headphones on!
You were putting them on. You hadn't got them on.
Oh, whatever. Right. Whatever, Sulaju. I have same woman problem, Rob. No, I haven't got the webcam on because I haven't set up the green screen and I haven't turned the lights on and I couldn't be asked, and I haven't done my hair and I'm not camera beautiful. I look like a scruff, so I haven't put the webcam on. Maybe if I like this game enough and I play it again today, I'll set it up properly. Plus, I wasn't sure, with it being a PC game, I wasn't sure where I'd position the camera. Yeah, but I was in the hospital then. I had an excuse, Mick. I had an excuse. I was in hospital. Excellent work. Feel free to play around with the parts and techniques I've shown you, and when you're ready to continue, press the red button in the upper right to exit. Back at the training menu, try the Flight Basics tutorial to learn how to fly this little craft. And then the intermediate construction tutorial can teach you more about the editor. Whatever. You don't need to see my face.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. Right. So that's how you build. Well, I'm not most people, obviously. Let's go back to the career mode. I'm actually not sitting in pyjamas. I'm sitting in a Avengers t-shirt and tracksuit pants. I think we should accept this, launch our first vessel. At Kerbal World Class Runners, we need brave Kerbal and the right stuff to help achieve our dreams. We'd like to officially start off the space program with a bang, a very controlled bang preferably. Launch our first vessel off the launch pad or the runway to achieve this goal. Okay. Well, it doesn't say launch anyone into space, so maybe you should just like launch a rocket. Accept contracts. I would never sit here naked. My bum would stick to the chair. Right. Can we just like... we just like launch that on its own? Wouldn't that be? What's this? Modular girder segment. Build the structure of your dreams with an Axo construction tools. Modular girder segment. Utility. Parachute. Basic fin. It should really have a fin, shouldn't it? I don't know what I'm doing. That's blatantly obvious, really, isn't it? No, that's not what we wanted. How do I get rid of that? Okay. It's got 4 fins on it. No payload. Coupling, structural, engines, fuel tanks, pods. What is this? Now we don't want a pod, we just want to launch that into space. What do we do? Launch. The vessel has no remote control or man command modules. It won't be controllable. Launch anyway. Let's go! Let's launch it!
No.
Oi!
Mal, here you go.
Maybe I should have done the next research thing. Look, this is gonna work, isn't it? This is gonna just go straight up.
Here you go.
Isn't it? How do you launch it?
Excuse me. Shut your mouth.
I don't need a pod. Where are we going? We don't need no pod. It's not meant to be controllable. I don't know. I should have done the next training mission.
Right.
Get down. No one needs to control it. Launch your first vessel. I'm trying to, but it won't let me. I just want to launch. I just want to take off. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. No. Okay. What's happened? Dum 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 dum. Maybe I should go back to the training things again. Basic flight. Maybe I should have learnt this first. It don't need a pilot. Sputnik didn't need a pilot. Come on, piss off. Away. Go. Marley, get away. Go. Get away. I don't want you at my feet. I would like to put my feet down and out so I can stretch them. Thank you very much. Right, what are we doing? Right, welcome to the Kerbal Space Center launch facility. I'm Gene Kerbal, and I will teach you the basics of piloting. And anyway, how you doing, Joes? Today we'll do a run through of all the important controls for your spacecraft. A little hopper from your basic construction lesson. Werner may not have all of them, but we do full run through one.
Alright.
Put him on the chair, please, because I can't have that. Right. Flying a spacecraft is all... Okay, do you mind? Flying a spacecraft is all about being in control of a generally very chaotic... I'm going to come over there and... Hugo! As a pilot, your main flight controls will affect the pitch, yaw, and roll of the spaceship. Sue just put a dummy in the dog's mouth, or a pacifier, depending on what country you live in. Let's look at these first. All the other controls will be locked until they're needed for this tutorial. Okay, whatever. Pitch your roll, the three directions you rotate your craft to help you visualize the holiday snap of the hopper below. You control your ship's rotation using S and W for pitch, A, D for yaw, and Q and E for roll. Okay. By controlling pitch, yaw, and roll together, you can keep the ship in a controlled flight. There's no way in the world you could control that. Try it now, and you notice on the lower left hand side as you move it, provide the control input. Lower left hand side. Pitch, roll, yaw. Okay. Throttle plus pitch, yaw, and roll are the main controls you need to master for a successful crash-free flight. We'll skip over the throttle control for now, as this vessel has no need for it. Don't worry, I'll explain it another time when it's of use. Remember that all of these controls have a limited amount of effectiveness, so bigger, heavier ships will probably respond much more sluggishly. It's also good to keep in mind that as stages are separated from the ship, it will become lighter, and this will usually mean easier to control. Next, let's look at the rest of the flight controls. In flight, all the planning you put into the staging sequence of your ship comes into play. From the launch to the final deployment of the descent parachutes, you can control the activation of several of the ship's parts by activating stages. Space. Launch, activate, next. Ah, so it was space to... Was it? Notice the stage indicator in the lower left corner. It shows the currently active stage. Okay, stage 1, yeah. Since we haven't launched yet, it's showing the first stage is active. I have your staging controls locked for now, so the stage indicator is glowing purple. One more thing on staging: if the staging setup is causing strife or you change your mind about something, you can edit the stage sequence on the fly. Pun intended. No need to go back to the assembly facility. An important part of flying is knowing how your ship is orientated and where it is going. That is why a good pilot is always aware of the ship's attitude, where it is pointing, and its velocity vector, where it is going. These aren't always the same direction, and as your skills improve you should pick up on these. The big round instrument on the lower centre of the screen is called the nav ball. This device sums up most of the critical information needed for proper death-free flights. Oh god, there's a lot of reading. Here you see the ship's nose in relation to the horizon. Okay. When you're not pointing straight up, it's easily visible as a line between blue sky and the brown ground, as well as its heading, compass, and speed. You also get several icons that indicate things like your current velocity vector, but we'll have a look at those later. Oh boy. God. Why can't it read it for me? In the top center part of the screen you have your altimeter, vertical speed indicator, and atmosphere gauges. The altimeter will show the distance to the planet's surface at sea level. This means the actual surface may be much closer, so watch out for the ground when landing. Your vertical speed indicator shows how quickly your altitude is changing when launching. It is considered best to keep the gauge pointing up. I did press spacebar, nothing happened. The atmosphere gauge indicates how deep the ship is in the planet's atmosphere. This helps you know if the ship is high enough for orbiting without losing speed to air resistance, or judge how effective wings and control surfaces will be. What was that? The atmosphere gauge. Which one's the atmosphere gauge? I have no idea. Anyway. Parachute. Oh, for God's sake. One last thing before we give this rocket the green light. In the staging stack you can see the indicator for your parachute. This indicator shows when the chute will be activated by staging. You already know that, but the background will also change to indicate when it is safe to stage the parachute. And the foreground, the parachute bit of the icon itself, will change colour depending on the parachute state. Note, however, that by default parachutes will not deploy when unsafe, even if you stage them. The left 3 shows safety, safe, risky, and unsafe to deploy. The chute is unstaged. White in the left. Jesus Christ. The left 3 shows safety, safe, risky, and unsafe to deploy. The chute is unstaged, white in the left 3. The right 3 shows state after staging, armed, deployed, and cut, shredded. When you are familiar with chute icon colors, we can move on. White is unstaged. Blue, green, red is armed, deployed, and cut, shredded. Okay, enough talk. I'll unlock the flight controls and you'll be clear for launch. At any time you may press escape to pause the game in the pause menu, and you can restart or end this tutorial. Choose enter. For now, get yourself prepared and hit space when ready to launch. Don't forget your hopper has only a solid rocket motor. There is no throttle control, that's why we didn't review the throttle here. Make sure to fly in a nice high arc and enjoy the flight. Oh, there's the atmosphere thing up the top. Right. I should hook up a controller for this. 3, 2, 1. We need a countdown. Why is it not going? It's going. It's going straight up. You can try parachute some of the control we like pitch and yaw. Also keep an eye on the parachute icon in the staging list. Sorry, let me pause that while I read it. Also keep an eye on the parachute icon. Where's the right? That says that's red. Doesn't that mean like I don't know. Once it goes red, it won't deploy until it's clear again, even if you've staged it. I realise this could be too much to learn in one go, so if you forget, you can always press escape and click view key bindings for a reminder. You can also see whether your crew are enjoying the trip in the lower right corner. As hurrying on a watch, I'll let you know when it's safe to stage your shoot. Yeah, I might have to see if this has got controller support. Right. And up you go. Alright, I'm still going. That was quite quick. What am I supposed to do next? Your solid motor has burned out and you're passing what? Apoapsis, the highest point of your flight, and your speed is low, enough that it is safe to stage again to deploy the parachute. Right. We've armed the parachute, now time to wait. Now time to for it to deploy, so don't worry, it will do so automatically. Maybe you'll worry if you don't fly high enough. You may not have enough air under you to slow down before you crash. Whoa, why is it doing that? And now we sit back and enjoy the descent. Not a very good parachute. Why is it not opening properly? Is that how it opens in this game? Oh, there we go. We're getting a little bit of opening now. Okay. I see, it hadn't come down low enough. Look at that dopey look. Ooh. Well done, you've survived your first quick flight. When you've landed or splashed on Kerbal and not in training, you can point the mouse just above the altimeter and click the recover button. Oh, I see. On the panel that slides down to us. I've also unlocked the crew hat, so if you feel like going out for a walk or swim, you can click the EVA button that will pop up when your mouse over the portrait. You can do it just for fun or to collect a server. This concludes today's lesson. To exit training, press escape. Okay. Well, there you go. How many training lessons are there? All right. So that should be enough for me to maybe do the first mission. Maybe. Okay. Where'd the ship go? What? What happened to the ship I built? When I click recover, did I lose it? Alright, Mark 1. So this is exactly the same as the other ship. Well, apart from the fact it doesn't have a parachute. We'll just change this to what it was there. What about a crew? Like, do you automatically get a crew? Okay. Does it get a crew, or do you have to recruit a crew? Right, it's got a crew. Jebediah. Well then, I guess all I have to do is exactly what I did last time. There we go. Parachute still red. spinning. Yeah, I figured as much. Where am I going to land? Am I going to land back where I was? Well, that was easy. Okay. Is that it? $1,115 funds. So when you recover, I mean, none of this is reusable, I take it, so. And your pilot gets experience. Okay. So, do I get, like... launch our first vessel. There we go. Okay. I could have done that one as well, I suppose. I probably could have done that one at the same time. Because isn't that what happened? Like... Oh my god. Like, didn't it, like, in the report, didn't it, like, say I'd gathered... scientific... Like if I was to do exactly the same thing. Okay. So do exactly the same thing. Did I not get... What's this one? mystery goo. This unit was something one of our engineers came on while dumpster diving while researching alternative after resisting sector. It's a seal container which appears to be filled with a strange looking substance. We couldn't reach in or break the canister over. Watching how the goo behaves when subjected to different situations could be very educational. Attach it anywhere? Will that not make it? Let's just do it. Let's go. Alright, JP. Yeah, welcome back to the world of ETVs. Oh, crap. We have a bit of leaning going on. Slightly. Ooh. Uh-oh. We're not landing in the ocean. We're not landing on land. Is the parachute open? I was getting a bit worried then. I thought the parachute wasn't going to open. So adding the things to the side caused a little bit of a weight offset. I didn't know. Huh. So I'm not sure what happened there. Data gathered. Data gathered. Data gathered. Oh, he didn't get an XP gain. Well, that... Well, there we go. That was easy. You can't transmit without an antenna. So what are these other 1 stars? We're not afraid to try new things. As a result, we sometimes find ourselves in a situation of needing outside help to solve a problem. Some Kerbal say that every place on Kerbal looks exactly the same. We disagree, but need someone else to prove them wrong. We believe that you are much better positioned to deal with this than us. We need to test our newly acquired Kerbal with a focused survey of Kerbal. Go to the designated test site. Take a crew report in flight above 18,000. Alright, so you need to take a crew report. You've got to get above 18,300 meters. How far did I actually get on that last one? I mean, meters. We have broken out 7,000 meters. So I didn't get past 8,000 meters. Have anything. I take it I have to research. What is this? Tolerance. That has. I take it this is where the research and whatnot comes in. Basic rocketry. Engineering. Oh, I've got 20. Alright, okay. Liquid fuel engine, and a solid fuel booster, and a fuel tank. Cannot afford. Cannot afford. This one you go, the art and science of landing and walking away from it. Survivability. The goo jiggles and wobbles as the craft flies. Oh, is this all the different planets in the system? Shall we have a look at the next training video then? Just got the CTV one. It's a very confusing game. Maybe I should go through all the training videos offline. I want this space center. This is much nicer. Hello again, glad you could come back. To get started, go ahead and enter the VAB and I'll give you the overview of what we're building today. Now, if you remember in our last construction tutorial, we covered how to build a simple hopper and some of the basics of the construction area. In this tutorial, we'll expand your knowledge of some of the more useful features in the VAB. You do think it would be easier? He said it would be easy. Okay, to build our new design, let's start with a craft we built in the basic construction tutorial. Though this one is just called hopper, this will save us a little bit of time when you can exactly when they save on time. Click on the open button at the top. Open hopper. Okay. If you mess up, you can recreate a craft from the part list by placing your pod first, then a parachute on top of it. Note that throughout the tutorial will leave all parts you need available in place. I played it on Friday. What? Why won't it let me click next? That's weird. Unlike last time, we won't be bringing the whole vessel back, so we can change our parachute stats from what we use. Right click on the parachute and verify that its deployment altitude is set to 1000 as last time, but also set the minimum pressure slider all the way to the right to 0.75. Why is it? Simply change to something other than hopper and we can proceed. Okay. Not hopper. Great. For this craft we are going to give the ship some additional perks by attaching a science experiment. We can run these experiments during our travels and get valuable science data for Kerbal kind. We can run these experiments during our there are a number of science experiments to be performed, but at the moment we only have the mystery goo containment unit available. Switch to the science tab to look at it. This is one of the most basic science Kerbal science have devised, and one of the first things they want to try and understand better. I mean, they don't even know what colour the goo is. When you pick up the part, you'll see that it's designed to be attached to the sides of other parts, i.e. radially. If we attach only one of these, then during flight our craft will be unbalanced. One way to solve this is to add an extra goo container on the opposite side of the rocket so they balance. Luckily we have a symmetry tool to help here. These buttons control symmetry, highlight and angle snap and can be found in the lower left of the screen. Press the symmetry button or press the X key to cycle through. Set this to 2 times and pick up and place the mystery goo containment on the side of the pod. Oh, jeez, now why did I know that? Well, whatever. And it's placed 2 directly opposite each other. Now, if I'd known that, watching the chat conversation, it's like watching people talk about me as if I wasn't in the same room. Like you're talking behind my back. It's funny. Set this on the side of the pod near the top. You will notice that a second one has been placed opposite the first one. You had already placed a lone canister. Pick it up. Right. Okay. Next. If we add too many more parts here, the craft we are making will be too heavy to survive re-entry safely, and too heavy to be slowed by a parachute, leading to sudden impact syndrome. So we will need to add a decoupler below the pod. Decouplers can be found in the coupling tab, and will let us split the craft when we no longer need the lower parts. We won't be able to recover the discarded parts, but at least our craft and our Kerbal will survive re-entry and landing. Go to the coupling tab and grab the TD12, which is the coupling tab. Note that stack decouplers have arrows. The arrows show which side is the side that decouples. Make sure your decoupler's arrow is pointing up towards the pod. It will be by default. Okay. Hello, Rob White. Yes, I'm one of those people who are quite happy to ask for help, not necessarily like to be told what to do. As Mike Young says. Unless I demand it. I don't demand it, you cheeky little Anyway, next. Well done. You'll recall, I hope, that in the previous tutorial you had to adjust the staging stack when we added the engine to our earlier rocket. When you add a decoupler, the extra stage is automatically added to the stack so that any new parts... Is that music too loud? It feels too loud. But anyway, it doesn't matter. You'll let me know, won't you? I'll have to... I don't think there's any settings in this window. I'll have to come out of the tutorial. And change the audio settings. Right. This time we are going to use a liquid propellant rocket engine. Unlike solid rocket motors, these engines don't carry their own propellants with them, so we need to add some fuel tanks. Go to the Fuel Tanks tab. We are still using these early parts, so there are only the FLT 100. This is an area like engines where advancement brings bigger and better parts. We are going to need 5 of these tanks to get us to space. Before you grab 5 tanks from the part toolbox though, let me give you another tip. This is my middle name. Yeah. Once you place the first tank on the rocket, you can duplicate that by clicking the left Alt key and clicking on the tank. Okay. Left Alt key. See. Okay. Good. Switch over to the Engines tab now. The swivel engine you see here is obviously different from the flea we used before. This is a liquid engine and it needs both liquid fuel and oxidizer. Funnily enough, that's what we just added to the rockets. Attach the swivel to the bottom of the rocket stack now and keep an eye on the staging stack to see how it changes. Keep on this. We are almost there, and you have done, and you are doing fine. Maybe not as speedily as someone of my caliber, though. The last thing we are going to need to do is to give this rocket a little better stability so it keeps going the way we want it to go. We'll achieve this by adding some fins near the bottom of the rocket. Fins can be found in the Aerodynamics tab. And we want to change it to 4, I assume. Set the symmetry mode to 4, so we'll place them on both axes. Also turn on the angle snap. blue in this example, or by pressing C. Drop a basic fin on the last rocket tank. Okay. Excellent, we've now got a rocket that will let us reach for the stars. Admittedly, I did say reach for, as this is a beta rocket which can't achieve orbit, but on the bright side, that means re-entry will also be basic. You've done a great job in building a basic hopper and sub-orbit capable rocket. Hopefully you've learned a few things about how to build a craft and how to use some of the shortcuts. So, I want to launch it. Let me launch it. Launch it.
Dad, what are you playing?
Kerbal space program.
Is that new?
Yeah.
That looks stupid.
Of course you would say that. Launch.
What do you even do?
Nothing happened.
What's that?
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Dad,
Oh well.
Why isn't your thing launching?
What?
Why isn't your thing launching?
I don't know. Nothing happened. It did nothing. Alright, let's see if we can find the settings. Bring the music down quite a bit. There we go. Who knows? What's this? Suborbital flight. Let's have a look at this one. But nothing happened. Maybe it had no fuel. Oh, here we go. Hello gang, glad you could make it. Today we'll take an exciting step getting our first Kerbal into space. It's not our first though, is he? Alright. Is to make a short suborbital, less than orbital flight out over the water to the east. Oh great, it's giving me a direction. Which direction is the east? Which direction is the east? That would be, east would be 90 degrees, wouldn't it? Oh, it says 8. Alright, I've set up the pink target indicator on the nav ball as aim point, but do note that this is not the case for nominal missions. The target marker is normally used for other things and does not help with ascent. Starting with the nose pointing straight up on the launch pad or 90 degrees elevation from the eastern horizon. Tilt east to 80 degrees elevation on the nav ball. What? Yeah, I'm going to fail this one. Okay. Unlike the hopper in our first lesson, this car has liquid fuel engines. This means we can use the throttle to set the output power of the ship's engines. The throttle is controlled by the following keys: left shift, and left control, and Z and X. Try these out now. Go and Z and X. Okay. I'm going to fail. SAS stands for Stability Augmentation System, although Kerbal astronauts usually refer to it as Sickness Avoidance Scheme. Whatever it stands for, what it does is try to stop the ship from spinning around using the computer-controlled auto-torque drive compensator. Technology to counteract the rotation of the ship. In its simplest mode, it will keep the ship aligned with the orientation it has when you turn SAS on. If you pitch your roll while SAS is on, the orientation when you release the controls. This is too much to take in. I thought this was just going to be a simple little game. This craft has a bit too much engine, so we're going to throttle down for launch. Set your throttle to 2/3 the upper of the 2 middle notches on the slider. 2/3. So that would be 2/3 then, I take it. Also turn on SAS to help control things. T. Okay. Whoops. Why am I doing that? Next. Okay. During this lesson, some of the information is quite detailed and could take a while to read. As this is a short subaudible hop, and I don't want you to miss anything important, I will place a warning at the top of pages where you might want to pause the game to read. The warning will look like this. Warning, detailed info, press escape to pause if necessary. That's pretty self-explanatory, I guess. Okay, enough talk. I'll unlock the rest of the flight controls and you'll be clear to launch. At any time you may press escape to pause the game. In the pause menu you can restart the flight or end this tutorial and return to the main menu. I've enabled the target marker on the nav board. Give it a look to make sure you see it, and then let's get ready to light this candle. Double check your throttle is set to 2/3, yes. And SAS, isn't it? Yes. Then hit space when you're ready to launch. Remember to start turning at 50. To start turning at 50 meters per second. Where's my speed? Right, okay. Alright. Oh. Looking good. Now let's turn a little more. We're aiming to get to the 70-degree pitch line. Excellent work. Oh. We've got the rocket just where it needs to be in order to reach space. You should be able to let SAS keep the craft steady. Hey, Jabero. Did I? I did too. Why did I spell it like that? Because I'm an idiot. Why is there an E on the end? That I did. Thanks for pointing that out. Right, great work. You've succeeded in getting your ship on a trajectory bound for space. I've now set your target indicator to align with your velocity. Oh my god. Your target indicator to align with your velocity vector. That will minimize drag by turning the smallest side of the vehicle into the airflow. Somewhere around here you'll see the navball speed indicator auto switch from surface to orbit, accompanied by the speed number jumping. Go ahead and switch it back to surface mode by clicking on it until it says surface again. You might have noticed some flickering flames. Some flickering flames near the end of the burn there, which is due to the high speed of your craft in the atmosphere. Normally your ascent would be a little slower, but I'm sure my friend has helped you build a ship that can withstand this heat, and besides this high end, this slow, you'll be fine. If you want to have a look at your tree, you can switch to the map key to have a look at your projected path. Just remember to come back to flight mode again. Whatever. It's confusing the hell out of me. What? Oh, we're still in the same thing, aren't we? Yep, okay. Whew. Oh, 48, 49, 50. Now that we are coasting our way to a polar... we've got a little time to chat. Once you clear the atmosphere, we'll go over what you can do in space. I thought it was meant to be suborbital. While we float up here beyond the atmosphere, I'll quickly tell you about a couple of things you can do. With an advanced enough astronaut complex, we can train our Kerbals to be able to spacewalk or EVA, although we won't be doing that on this flight. Where are you going? Come here. Also, when we are carrying science devices like our goo containers, we can perform experiments. Feel free to play with the goo canisters now, like clicking on them, and I'll let you know when it's time for the next phase. So, keep experiment. Whatever that means. No usable comms. Now hold steady on your new altitude. Oh crap. Whoa. Now it's time to get rid of that booster since it's just weighing us down. Stage to discard the Okay. You are now re-entering Kerbal's atmosphere. Make sure to keep all hands and feet inside the pod at all times. Okay. We don't want you getting burnt or anything. Don't mind the flames. Last time we watched the parachute icon to wait for the right time to open the chute. This time we're going to do something a little different. Remember in the construction tutorial where you designed this vessel, you set the chute to not semi-deploy until 0.75 atmospheres of pressure. That means the chute won't perform the first of its 2 deployment steps until then, even if you activate it by staging. Now, on Kerbal, 0.75 atmospheres means about 2,000 meters altitude above sea level, and the craft should be travelling slowly enough by then that the chute will survive deployment. So let's take the bold step of arming the chute now and let the smarts in this there pop at the right attitude. Hang on. Awesome. So while we set your chute to not actually semi-deploy until around 2 kilometers, we do look out for your mission control. We do need to ensure that the opening height, its second full deployment step, is correct. You can even adjust these parameters during flight. So right click on the parachute now and check their sliders. And make sure the full deploy altitude is no less than 1,000 or you will not have enough time to slow down. Once you're satisfied, just hang on till about 2 kilometers and watch the parachute trigger itself according to the settings we've chosen. While we're waiting, I want you to look at the bottom of the capsule. Note that you do not have a heat shield. You don't need one because this is such a gentle flight. Actually, a heat shield would make things more dangerous on this craft because the additional mass would push the limits of this model of parachute. Okay. Whoa. Maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Are you still streaming?
Yes. Although not for much longer. Here we go. Coming down. Fast. What's that? Kerbal debris. Is that from the stuff that I jettisoned? Wait, what?
I'm in here though.
Alright, okay. Still the same.
do?
Oh, when I was going in there, I had like a bit that sticked out and like punched into myself.
Is that it?
Oh, that actually hurts. That's where my mouth was. And I can't find money.
No, it's one of those going back to pay for the things that people bought. And that's the money that gets to keep.
Can I count that one?
Why has Job Coot changed his name?
£50. No, it's 50.
2, 4, 5, 6.
How did that count? Or I just missed one.
It still feels like a heavy landing. Your first real mission. You managed to launch control your vessel into space, orient yourself correctly, and land safely. That's quite an achievement.
Dad, how did you manage to fly it?
I just did a tutorial. Yay! Right. Okay.
Dude, you don't have face cam on.
I know. Alright guys, I'm actually gonna stop now.
You haven't been playing for that long.
I've been playing for nearly 2 hours.
And you still had to do this.
1 hour 55 minutes.
And it took you...
And I still haven't done anything.
Exactly. I was about to say it took you 2 hours to do the tutorial. Yeah, I'm not playing that. It takes you 2 hours.
I don't know, did everyone enjoy that, or my regulars?
That's probably
I know my unregulars are probably here because I'm playing it. But my regulars who's never seen me play this game, did you enjoy it? I probably will play it again. It is a bit slow. Where's Sue going? No, I know. I might do some tutorials off stream. And then try and do career mode. And see how it gets going. I mean, but at least I didn't crash. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to head off. I might pop on a little bit later on and do a bit more of this. I'm going to have some lunch now and have something to eat and whatnot. But I will be back later on, and we'll continue this and see what we can do with it. But thanks for watching. Please don't forget to hit that like button, and if you are new and would like to follow me, please consider subscribing. Until next time, see you later, guys. Bye bye. And for some reason, that isn't working. Why isn't that working? Viagra. Where we are going, we don't need no Viagra.